community should really know, how did you get involved in school boards?
Feels like a lifetime ago right now. It was the middle of the pandemic. The rest of the world felt like they were going back to normal, and our kids were still masked, they were still isolated, they were still partially remote, and parents like myself felt like we had no voice. We felt unheard. I wanted to educate myself. I really needed to understand how exactly our local control is supposed to work and whether or not we as parents had any power. The Massapequa School Board meeting, and of course parents are frustrated, right? They feel like our kids are not in a good place. The long-term impact of what those masks were doing, parents were very, very concerned. The whole community was kind of up in an uproar, and I remember the school board, the Massapequa School Board, they just stopped everyone. They said, we're parents. Our kids are in masks. We don't want this. What can we do as a community to get our kids out of these masks? The entire dynamic of the meeting changed, and parents were standing up going, we could write letters, we could do a petition, all these wonderful ideas, and it was wonderful. And then went to a Farmingdale School Board meeting where we recruited hundreds of parents to show up, because in my mind, this is what all school boards would be doing.
Yeah.
But no, Farmingdale walked out on us. They stood up, refused to hold the meeting, and left. And that was when I knew that was not the board for the times and the challenges of today.
I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget you and Parsa Karimi standing up for all of us and for our families. At the time, all I was doing was complaining to my wife. Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about transparency. School boards can have private session called executive session or public session, which you know. Our school board spends almost all of their substantive conversations in private session. And when we get to the public session, it looks like this. This is how transparent the Farmingdale School Board looks. I make a motion to approve the stuff we talked about.
I second the motion.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve what we discussed privately. I unanimous vote. Well, what the heck did you talk about?
And everything's been unanimous. I dug back years worth of meetings. I cannot find a single meeting they didn't vote unanimously.
Exactly. And then when you are a community member and you're there, you're like, well, what was that topic even about?
Why our tax dollars should be allocated towards it? Let us be part of the process.
Exactly.
Tell us why your vote is going for that.
And not to mention the format now. Ever since we pushed back on the COVID masks, now the format is the board is on the stage, on a pedestal.
Yes.
And all of us peasants,
we're
we're back over 40 feet away with security in between us, treating the community like they're a threat.
Yeah.
We have to go up to a microphone to speak just so we can even be audibly heard. You, me, Parsa, we can actually collaborate with the other 4 members of the board and start working together on how to make these board meetings more personal again. And one of the main things that we gotta do, we gotta collaborate with the other board members, is any single topic that is eligible for public session, drag it back out. Get it right there front and center, right in the spotlight, in the most transparent way possible. It's all about transparency.
Absolutely. We want the members of the community to feel that what we're voting on and how we're spending their tax dollars, how we're educating their children, that they understand why those decisions were made. And if we agree unanimously, they understand that we had a discussion and we came to a consensus. But if we don't agree, I think it's important for the community to also know where each of us as a board member stands.
Right.
So for future elections, we know who feels what way about certain topics, so we can make informed decisions.
How else do you know these officials otherwise?
Exactly. We should know their voting record.
Yep. Why can't we, Barb?